Morning, class. Today is Wednesday, April 8th. I'm back to read some April adventures. If you look closely at the book, you can see Lucy climbing in the tree to get an egg. I think it was Bradley who was up there trying to reach for the egg. April Adventures. Yesterday, they visited Mr. Pocket and asked him about if he had seen any of the eggs. He said, no, we hadn't seen any. He goes, however, I saw some raccoons in the park. Raccoons love to eat eggs sometimes. So the kids are running back to the park to see if they see the raccoons. Today, we are starting chapter 6. Snakes eat eggs too. Ooh, snakes gives me the willies. What will we do if raccoons have the eggs? Brian asked. They were waiting for a light to change so they could cross Main Street. Bradley grinned. Ask them to give them back, he said. What if the eggs are already in their stomachs? Nate asked. Then we'll let them keep them, Bradley said. The kids crossed the street and headed for Center Park. I saw the raccoons walk into those trees, Lucy said. She pointed to the trees near the high school playing fields. Maybe they have a home there, Bradley said. Pal tugged on his leash and led the kids to the trees. He sniffed the ground and whimpered. Pal, if I let you off your leash, will you lead us to the raccoons? Bradley asked his dog. Pal goes, Roof. Bradley unsnapped the leash, and Pal took off barking. He raced to a tall tree and put his front paws up on the trunk. The kids ran over to the tree. They looked up the branches. What does a raccoon nest actually look like? Nate asked. I think they sleep inside the trunk, Bradley said. Pal let out another loud bark. He tried to climb the tree. Oh my gosh, look, Lucy said. About 6 feet above their heads, a raccoon face peered out of a hole in a tree trunk. The raccoon made a little coughing noise at Pal. Now what do we do? Nate asked, looking up. We found the nest, but we still don't know if they have our eggs. I'm not climbing up there to look at that nest, Brian added. Mama Raccoon doesn't look too happy to see us. I don't think the raccoons took them, Lucy said. Why not? Bradley asked. Guys, remember when we saw the raccoons in the park? Lucy said. They walked right past us. Yeah, the mom was leading the 3 babies, Brian said. Well, none of them had an egg in its mouth, Lucy said, and they weren't carrying an egg in their paw either. Ah, you're right, Bradley said. They were probably just going home to sleep. Raccoons hunt for food at night. Maybe they ate the eggs before we saw them, Nate suggested. Well, they could have, Bradley said, but they'd leave the eggshells on the ground. Let's go back and look. The kids ran toward the pond. Let's split up, Bradley said. Look everywhere around on the ground. What if the raccoons ate the eggshells too? Brian said. Bradley shook his head. Yuck, I don't think painted eggshells would taste very good. The kids walked around the pond. Right away, Pal started barking at the swans. They were in the water, flapping their wings. Chill out, Mr. and Mrs. Swan, Nate said. No one is going to hurt you. We're just looking for some eggshells. Ooh, there's a picture that I don't like on the next page. Maybe they have a nest somewhere, Lucy said. They think we're going to bother it. The kids walked quietly and carefully through the tall grass. Bradley led the way, with Pal in front with his leash. Out in the pond, the 2 swans kept watching. Careful, Bradley whispered over his shoulder. There may be snakes. Ooh, remember? Who's afraid of snakes? Brian said. I am, Nate answered. Suddenly, Pal barked and tugged on his leash. Bradley saw the hair on Pal's neck stand up. What is it, Pal? Bradley asked. He looked at the ground in front of Pal. Then he saw what made Pal bark. A black snake was curled up in a patch of light sunlight. The snake raised its head and poked its tongue into the air. Nate came up behind Bradley. "What's going on?" he asked. Bradley pointed at the snake. "Don't move," he whispered. Nate took one look and gasped. "I couldn't move if I tried," he stammered. And there's the picture of the snake. Ew. And what is going to happen now? Did the snake eat the eggs? The raccoons didn't. Mr. Pocket didn't take it. What else could it be? Could it have been the snakes? How about the swans? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Until tomorrow. Bye-bye.